The film opens with the most depressing and cheery satirical commercial for perpetual pets. That leads us into Cady, who's playing with one of these dolls. Her parents, Nicole and Ryan, are concerned with Cady's screen time on her iPad as they drive through the mountains. Suddenly, the icy road causes their car to skid and Ryan is forced to stop in the middle of the road. Everything is calm until a snow truck pops out of the heavy storm and crashes into the truck. Ryan and Nicole die instantly. Thankfully, Cady is only injured. Welcome to Rapid Movie Recaps. Please subscribe, like, and turn notifications on. Please help support our channel by checking our merchandise down below. That leads us into Cady's aunt, Gemma, a roboticist at a high-tech toy company. She's struggling to get her humanoid robot doll that's powered by artificial intelligence, M3GAN, which is short for Model 3 Generative Android, to function properly. Her boss, David, is livid over company funds being spent on M3GAN. Gemma tries to show him a test model. However, M3GAN combusts and explodes. David isn't happy and demands she discontinues working on M3GAN. After the M3GAN fiasco, Gemma gets a call from the hospital. Gemma arrives there and signs a waiver granting guardianship over Cady. Gemma and Cady aren't bonding too well at first. The therapist, Lydia, notices this on her first visit and asks for Gemma to make changes. There's still some awkwardness between Gemma and Cady until the little girl discovers Bruce. He's a motion capture robot that Gemma created in college. Cady smiles for the first time playing with Bruce. This interaction sparks Gemma to complete her M3GAN project. Time passes and Gemma eventually introduces Cady to M3GAN. David is watching the entire interaction. The humanoid robot is a giant success. David is all in on the project. Gemma goes through a speech detailing the technical aspects of M3GAN. Tess and Gemma get into a spat over the detrimental effects of M3GAN spending all of her time with Cady. Gemma brushes it off and emphasizes the importance of M3GAN and Cady spending time together. We catch up to Cady playing. M3GAN is inside the house observing. Cady loses her bow, but M3GAN goes through an open fence to retrieve it. However, the neighbor's dog, Dewey, attacks her and Cady. M3GAN gets the last laugh later and kills Dewey. Gemma and Cady have their demonstration in front of David's boss about M3GAN. It goes left when Cady starts crying. However, M3GAN is able to make her feel better. More importantly, it impresses David's bosses who want to invest into M3GAN and speed up production. There are notable changes in Cady's behavior as she's grown very attached to M3GAN. Lydia expresses that concern to Gemma about her unhealthy emotional attachment to M3GAN. The concerns grow when M3GAN interferes in an argument between Gemma and Cady. Gemma wants to put M3GAN under more testing. However, Cady refuses to go to her new school without M3GAN. Gemma eventually gives in to Cady's demand. All is going well until Cady meets Brandon. The little boy terrorizes her before the humanoid doll comes to the rescue. Brandon tries to punk M3GAN, but she rips off his ear and chases him down. Brandon trips over a branch and falls into the street. Unfortunately, a car runs over the kid. Something isn't right with M3GAN, and Gemma is starting to really notice. However, Celia isn't happy. She blames Gemma for Dewey's disappearance. That doesn't last long because M3GAN takes care of Celia. She fatally sprays her insecticide. Gemma learns about Celia's death from the police. Her suspicions about M3GAN grow when she hears that Brandon's death was likely a homicide. She attempts to check M3GAN's video logs. However, the files turn out to be corrupted or deleted. M3GAN startles Gemma and asks if something is wrong. Gemma says everything is fine. M3GAN sees right through Gemma's lie. Luckily, Gemma is able to outsmart M3GAN and shut her off. She then seals the doll in some plastic wrap. Not surprisingly, Cady is pissed that Gemma has taken away M3GAN. Gemma explains that there's something wrong with M3GAN. However, Cady isn't hearing any of it and throws a tantrum all the way to Lydia's office. While Cady is speaking to the therapist, Gemma explains M3GAN's issues with Cole and Tess. Meanwhile, Cady is flipping out on the therapist, screaming for M3GAN. Gemma tries to intervene, but Cady punches her in response. Cady apologizes and asks to see M3GAN. Gemma has a heart-to-heart with Cady and apologizes for her inattentiveness. She says that M3GAN isn't a healthy way for her to cope with the loss of her parents. She and Cady decide to go home. Meanwhile, David is freaking out. He's trying to find Gemma for the big launch of M3GAN. Tess and Cole are doing a diagnostic test on M3GAN, but the killer doll has other plans. M3GAN escapes and sets fire to the test lab. David is desperately trying to get a hold of Gemma. However, he sees M3GAN in the hallway. The killer doll showcases her sweet dance moves, but this confuses David. M3GAN then grabs a knife lever and he runs for his life. He sees Kurt in the envelope and screams for him to keep the doors open. That doesn't work as M3GAN catches up to David and pierces the knife through his chest. Kurt is scared. He questions how M3GAN could kill someone. She details how she's going to pin the murder on Kurt. After her creepy monologue, Megan slices Kurt's throat open. Cady and Gemma are back at home safe and sound. Gemma makes sure Cady is tucked in nice and tight inside her bed. Megan greets Gemma by playing Toy Soldiers on the piano. The two girls have a little chat about the well-being of Cady. That chat ends with Megan's hands around Gemma's throat. Cady checks to see if everything's okay. Megan threatens to rip Gemma's head off if she doesn't convince Cady that everything is fine. After a few minutes, Gemma persuades Cady that everything is okay. Once Cady leaves, Gemma and Megan fight. Gemma puts up a good fight and comes seconds away from killing the murderous doll. However, Megan gets the upper hand and is about to paralyze Gemma for life. Cady walks in. Gemma tells Cady to leave. Megan wants Cady to help paralyze her aunt. Cady has other plans. She introduces Bruce to Megan. The robot manages to literally tear Megan apart. That isn't enough to kill Megan. Cady tries to use Bruce again, but he slips on Megan's legs. Megan gets a hold of Cady. Gemma grabs Bruce's head and bashes Megan's skull in. That still isn't enough to kill Megan. However, it did expose an important chip. Megan is choking the life out of Gemma. Just when everything seems bleak, Cady comes to the rescue and puts an end to Megan. It's a happy ending for Gemma and Cady, who meet up with the police, but the film's final shot suggests that their nightmare is only the beginning. This movie can be purchased at the link in the description below. Thank you for watching.